In 1 or 2 words, what do you want to get out of this presentation?
Knowledge.
That's a good one.
How to grow my company.
All right.
Yeah, startup to scale up.
Okay.
Answers.
Answers.
Team growth.
Team growth?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the positive energy going under times of really high stress.
That is a tough one.
Yeah.
Can we do it? Can we help her?
Yeah.
We can help her. I think we can help her.
Enrollment persuasion.
Enrollment persuasion. Are we going? What else? Anything else?
Getting the right people on the bus.
Getting the right people on the bus. How about in the right seat on the right bus? That's good too. Back there? Oh, just a minute. We're almost there. Technology's happening. Anyone else? Anything else you want to get out of today?
I'd like to have a little fun.
Okay, I can try. I'll try and be boring. All right.
Opposite. Well, I was understanding almost like what you're lacking and how to build a team around what you're lacking.
Okay.
Is that enough for you? Or?
I think so. I'm really gonna try, you guys. I'm gonna do my best. Come in. Welcome. We're showing you a nice visual of the mountains. I love being outdoors.
Thank you, Mac.
Thank you, Mac. Yes, I know they always have great backgrounds. Well, I guess what I'll do is get started. So the talk today, and I don't know quite how to use this yet, but we're gonna figure it out, is how to build your tribe. I'm super excited about this. One of the reasons why I chose to speak on this was because this is also a challenge that I have. So when I find something that I'm not very good at, I want to become an expert. So what do? I do research, I figure it out, and then I force myself into an uncomfortable situation so that I have to be good at it, because now I'm having to lead by example. So, we're almost there. I run a company. My company is called Santa Cruz Core Fitness and Rehab. I started at 22. I had no management training, and I thought, I want to go to medical school. So I need to leverage my time. I hadn't gone to business school. I graduated in biochemistry, and I became a personal trainer. And I thought, okay, I want to help people. I want to go to medical school. So I started this business, and it was at first a one-person show, and then I thought, okay, well, I was injured when I was 18. I got hit by a car, and I was not really able to function. I had chronic pain, and so I found all these different types of practitioners that could help me heal. And I decided, well, shoot, I want to go to medical school. I need to leverage my time, so I need to have people work for me. So raise your hand if when you started your business, you had more time. Right. So again, didn't go to business school. So I didn't have more time, but I did get a whole team of practitioners together, and I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, but I learned. And so today, what I'm going to do, thank you. Is it somewhat functional?
Right arrow, and no, I couldn't get that.
That's okay. I think I'll remember.
So if you right arrow, you should go to your next one.
Wow, fancy that. Technology! All right. We can move the chair. I don't want to trip on it. Okay, and we could go like this. All right, so I started at 22. I don't really count my one-on-one personal training business as being in business, but it really was. So I say 9 years, it was probably like 13 years at this point. And we do 9 different services, 3 locations, over 70 staff members, and we grossed over $2 million last year. And I started making $1,000 or less a month, right? And I got Entrepreneur of the Year, so I'm riding pretty high. But always there is challenges, and always there are struggles, and always I don't feel like I'm the leader that I want to be. So how, when you don't feel like you're the leader that you want to be, can you get the people on the right bus and have a positive attitude even in times of stress? Because let me tell you, it is freaking hard. And the thing is that there was a time when I was 27, again, no management training. I'm like laying on the floor in the hallway of my business, and it's a weekend, and we didn't have people working on the weekends at that time. And my life is so hard. I'm like struggling, right? And my parents are there, and I'm like, okay, I asked for this. You put yourself in this boat. You asked to be the leader. So we got to show up when we don't want to, and we got to own it, and we got to take responsibility. The woman that talked earlier, she talked about all the different types of power, right? Masculine, feminine, passive, and active. And I don't think that there's one good power. I think that it's the combination, and each time that you come into a situation, you have to read the situation. So if I were to describe myself, I would say I'm a chameleon, because as a chameleon, you're able to, what? What do you do as a chameleon? You change colors and you adapt. And so that's how you can remain calm and positive in stressful situations. Okay. Has anyone heard of the bus factor? Ooh, I get to teach something. All right. If somebody were to get hit by a bus in your business and the business would be gone, what's the number of people that would be? So if I got hit by a bus and my business was over, that would be a bus factor of 1. So how many have a bus factor of 1? How many have a bus factor of 2? Okay, so 1. How many have a bus factor of more than 2? Tell me what your bus factor is. What's your bus factor? How many? 5? Good.
About 5.
All right.
Does that mean it would take?
So for all 5 people,
Okay.
for the business to, got it. Okay, well that's pretty good. Great job. So we're gonna go over that. Okay. Basically, having a bus factor of 1 is really bad, right? No business after someone kicks it, not good. So how do we scale? How do we get this tribe that's gonna follow us, that's gonna get on the bus? How are we gonna do it? And when we're not wanting to be motivational speakers, and we want someone to listen to our problems, how can we still have a business that's thriving when we just wanna stay home in our pajamas all day? Who can relate to this slide? Like you're sinking in paperwork, or it's never ending, being an entrepreneur. It's just like, work is never done, right? Who can relate? Work is never done? Can you turn it off? Who's really good at turning it off? Really? Kind of. How many people have their cell phone here? Raise your hand. How many people have looked at it today? So this is a workshop on personal development and leadership, and you're looking at your cell phones, guys. This is the mom stare. I did it about 10 times. My business is local, so that makes it even harder because I could even drive to work to fix something. But I need my tribe, I need my team, I need someone else to help me so that I can build the business, right? So I can share the vision, because who's better at that than you? The entrepreneurs, the believers, the dreamers. That's what you guys do best, right? But I need all these people. I need to get people on my bus, and I need to have them with me if I'm going to be the driver on the bus, and they need to be freaking singing my song. So how do we do that? Because my belief has been, and maybe you can relate, is if I don't do it, who's going to? Someone today, I don't remember who it was like, I'm into being in control. I'm into being in control because it's my brand. And if I'm not doing it, then who is going to? And how can I trust that you're going to know my brand well enough? I got to do it. Well, that thinking is going to what? What's that thinking going to do? Make you lose your hair because you're so stressed out because you can't sleep. And how do you scale that if I don't do it, no one will? How are we going to scale that? You can't. But it does get easier, I promise. That control thing, got to kick it. So I really like this slide. I don't think I came up with this, but I'll claim it today. The most precious commodity that we have is time. That's one thing that makes us all equivalent. So I get the same 24 hours in a day that you do, and you, and you. I am no more special than anyone else in the hands of Father Time. So how can we leverage it? I bring this up because we have to hire. We're talking about building our tribe, so we have to hire people. And there's fixed mindset around this, or there can be. So I'll use myself as an example because I am a pretty good one. I run a wellness business, and I need to hire practitioners, massage therapists. I went to massage school so I could be a massage therapist in the event someone wouldn't show up. I need to hire receptionists. So if I get one receptionist, my life's gonna be so much better. You know why? Because then I don't have to teach that job anymore, and I'm just gonna be freaking thrilled, and I can go and teach my brand. But that's a fixed mindset, because guess what? If I don't hire a fixed mindset, someone who's like stoked to be the receptionist and just stoked to be the status quo, what's gonna happen? If I don't hire a fixed mindset person, they're going to leave, because they're going to grow and evolve if they're not a fixed mindset. So fixed mindset, if you don't know what a fixed mindset is someone who's pretty much like stoked with the status quo and is stoked to just be content with being average, normal, okay to go to job, punch in, punch out. Raise your hand if that's the kind of person you want to work for you. No. But that would be so much easier, because I would have a fixed mindset person in my reception job, right? And then they would always be the receptionist. And then I wouldn't have to train somebody else, right? But long term, that doesn't work, because I need to grow my company. And if everyone doesn't have a growth mindset, then this person's going to cause me problems at some point, right? I had a manager. She was awesome. I loved my manager. Her name was Megan. And I could go and venture out into the community and talk and evangelize my business. But then I wanted to grow a second location, and she just would not have it. She didn't believe in it. She thought it's going to be too much work, we can't do it. So what kind of a mindset was she? Fixed mindset. Yeah. And I was upset. I was really angry that she had to leave. And she loved me, and I loved her, and we were friends, But you know what? It didn't work, because she was a fixed mindset. And so now her job, which I helped her to get, because I believe in success of every individual, whether it's with me or somewhere else, she wrote me a thank you card, gave me a gift certificate, and was like, I love you, thank you so much for making this dream come true of mine to go work for a university and have an accounting job, and fixed mindset. She's stoked. So it brings me to the kind of people that we want to hire, and the kind of people we want to be on our team. So we've got generalists, and we've got specialists. Has anyone heard this before? Okay. So a specialist, we'll use cars as an analogy. Everyone knows cars, right? So a specialist would be someone who is amazing with transmissions. They just they dial transmissions, and you know that you've got something wrong, and they're going to be like, oh, transmission, I'm going to fix that, I'm going to cherry that out, it's going to be perfect, your car's going to run, it's going to turn on, it's going to shift, it's going to be great. Then you have a generalist. A generalist is like, yeah, I know cars, I know how to change the oil, I could work on your transmission, but hey, if you've got a Porsche, don't bring it to me, because I am not a specialist. Oh, that Ducati, I can't help you. Or that Ferrari, no thanks. Corvette, So with a specialist, you've got someone who's epic at one thing. And then with a generalist, you've got people who are generally, have a good breadth of knowledge. Now, what happens if you focus on hiring specialists? So now it's like, okay, what kind of seat are these people going to go in? What am I looking for? Well, I need someone who's really amazing at web development, because I need a website. So I'm going to go and hire someone who's a great web developer, but then I'm going to ask them to do Facebook ads, and they're just going to be like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I know how to make your website tick, but I can't do a Facebook ad. And you're going to be like, damn, now I got to hire a Facebook specialist. Okay, so I got my web person, I got my Facebook specialist. Okay, but they don't know how to make landing pages, and the web guy's like, I could make a landing page, I could do that. But now I need a content writer, because none of them can do that. So now I'm going to hire a content writer. So I have got all these people who are amazing at their job, but guess what? My bus factor, if one of them gets hit by a bus, now I don't have someone to do my website. What the heck, right? Or I have a generalist. And the generalist is like, I can do your website. I'm going to use Wix, and I'm going to put it up, and it's going to be pretty standard, and it's going to be just a template, and it's going to work, and it's going to be great. And I could do some Facebook ads, but it's not going to be amazing Facebook ads. It's going to be good. But it's not going to be great, right? So do you want generalists or do you want specialists in your business? Well, there's problems to each. A specialist, you can really go horizontal and grow your business horizontally. And with generalists, you might get a little bit bloated in the business, because you got all these people who are decent but not excellent. So really what we want is somebody with a growth mindset, because you've got someone who can analyze mistakes. You've got someone who knows how to build a decent website, but you know what they're going to do? They're going to look at that webinar, and they're going to go to that seminar, and they are going to freaking be an expert on Wix or whatever it is, the platform that they're using, right? they have an ability to learn new things, and they're not afraid. They're not afraid that they got hired to do web stuff, and hey, guess what? They're gonna go and learn Facebook ads today at the breakout session. Come on in. They're not gonna avoid challenges, and they're not gonna give up easily. This is a good one. We want growth mindset, because guess what kind of people we are? Growth. We're all about personal evolution. That's why you're here. This is my favorite, except for the posture of this guy. It's like, I'm in fitness, so it's like I gotta stand up straight. This is the kind of people you wanna hire. Someone who has a good breadth of knowledge and a little bit of a specialty. So T-shaped people. This is not my design. I forget the person who did it, but it's awesome. You can Google it, it's awesome. So, I've got someone with a good general breadth of knowledge and a specialty. So again, we'll use the website because we all need a website. They're decent with, they're good with website, they know some Facebook. But you know what they're really good at? They're so good at content writing. So now I have someone who can also blog for me. How cool is that? And then I hire another person on my team who's amazing at graphics. Amazing at graphics. And they know content pretty good. And they know some advertising as well. So guess what can happen? Do I have to teach them? No, because they both know different skills and they can teach each other, right? So why is that so impressive? Like, duh, right? It's impressive because now you have two people, not you, we've already removed you from the picture, two people collaborating at work, sharing a vision. Whose vision? Your vision. So they're passionate, they're committed. Now you have people, now you've got your tribe. You're building your tribe because you found T-shaped people. But you still have problems. Now how do you solve the problems, right? So you've got people, maybe ready to help you solve them, but you gotta figure out what the best problem to do first, because it can be overwhelming, because there's always so much work to do and you can never turn it off. How do you figure out what to systemize first? And what's causing the most stress? Let's start there. That is where you want to start. So what's causing the most stress? Anyone in your business? What?
A client.
A client, okay. Anyone else? No one has stress in their business?
Deadlines.
Deadlines.
Cash time management.
Cash flow. Okay, so got to deal with that client, got to deal with cash flow. What was yours?
Deadline.
Deadlines, got to deal with deadlines.
Human resource management.
Resource management, yeah. So you've all just identified hiring, God, yeah.
Yes.
Amen. All right, so now you've developed the number one problem in your business. I just forgot, hold on. We're gonna do an activity in a minute, so I gotta give you this. Okay, so as I'm talking, go ahead and you guys can each have one of these and have one of these. Okay. So the first page we're going to use, and the second page is a personal evaluation tool. All right, so we figured out what's causing the most stress. So back to the slide of, oh my God, I have to do everything. Now we figured out what's causing the most stress. Then what we're going to do is we're going to systemize it. So do you have a way every time for how you deal with a client if there's a problem? That can work, but then you have no revenue, right? So if you just continue to fire a client, that's a protocol, that can be a system, we can build it. But that doesn't really work because then you have no business. So do you have a certain way of talking to your clients?
Create processes around communicating more appropriately.
Right, so she's giving us the answer. Create processes around communicating more appropriately. So just ignore those papers for right now, we'll get to it. So by creating the process, so we've got these T-shaped people, they're ready to work, they're collaborating, they're in teams. Now what we need to do is get them to teach each other. But what if they both grow up and leave? They put on their adult clothes and they walk out the door. It's okay, because what you asked them to do was to collaborate with each other. The collective has more knowledge, and not only did you ask them to teach each other, you said write it down. You said, my biggest problem is deadlines. You're going to help me solve the problem, and guess what? You're going to write it down. Because the thing is that you probably, at some point, have done every part of your business, right? So you could write a manual. You totally could. I've done it. But then who's running your business? Because it's not you. And if you're the dreamer and you're the evangelist of your business, you need to have somebody else to help you make those systems. So you delegate. And you say, I need cash flow. I need money. We need to create a system for how to do that. I've done it before. This is the system of how we acquire leads, and this is the system of how we generate revenue. But you're only one person, and now you have 3 people or 2 people or 1 person that shares your vision. So you're going to ask them, and then you're going to say, create a system for me. And you're going to say, this is how I want you to create the system. So how do you do that? Because I can say, hey, create a system for me. Do it. But that's so broad, that's not even fair to him, right? And I'm going to look at it and go, God, this is crap. That's not how I wanted it. I wanted the eyes to be green and not yellow, right? So what I'm going to do is, this is how I teach it. I'm going to say, hey, we're going to deal with this client issue together. This is how we're going to do it. I'm going to dial this number. I'm going to talk to him. This is what the issue is. You're going to listen while I talk. You're going to take notes. So I'm doing it first. He's taking notes. Hang up the phone, we fix the problem, or part 1 of the problem. And then we're going to say, what do you think? How do you think? And then I'm going to ask him leading questions about how that process was for him. And he's going to say, this was good, I didn't really understand that, and I never thought about what X, Y, and Z that you said. Oh, all right. So then, problem number 2, because guess what? There's probably a second client problem at some point, right? You're going to handle it. So now it's his turn. We're going to do the speakerphone thing, and I'm going to be listening. And guess what? There are certain things that I did that he's also going to do. Like, I could tell you one thing, listen. Listening to the client. People want to feel validated. So with this problem specifically, if you have client issues, the number 1 thing you got to do is listen to the client. I don't care if they are flaming wrong and they're talking out of their butt, doesn't matter. You listen, and you listen intently, and you actively listen. Because if you're actively listening, you're saying, I'm so sorry. That is a real challenge. Yeah, I bet. You know what? I'm really sorry. It doesn't mean that you're sorry that you did anything wrong, but you're sorry that they're having a hard time, right? You're validating them, right? So there's my first step in my process and my protocol. Is validate the person and listen. Oh, and now we don't have a signal. Well, that is a bummer. Oh, there it goes. I thought it was I think I was just talking too much on that one slide.
Full patience, Jaimi.
Yes, totally. Okay, Winston Churchill. Those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. So, that's why processes are so important. I don't want to educate you once and then do it a second time and a third time that we need to listen to the client. I want to educate you and say, hey, write it down. And then he writes the process down. I say, give it back to me. You got a week or however many days, an hour. He gives it back to me and I'm like, all right, great. Here, make these edits. There you go. So as we're building our business, we're creating our protocols and our procedures. And if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, my business would still run. So 5 years ago, I was angry. And when you're angry, you're probably not very present, right? I wasn't. So I climbed through my bathroom window and I overstretched my leg. And I thought, oh, something's wrong. My back kind of is a little bit funny. And I climbed into my bathroom because I got locked out of my house, which is why I was angry. Long story short, I couldn't walk the next day. I went to the bathroom, I made it to the bathroom, and I fell in my hallway, and I could not get up. And I just laid there until my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, got home. It was like I was 80 years old, but I was like 32. So being a very, what did she say, like action-packed masculine energy, I didn't want to ask for help. I had too much of an ego. So I laid on the couch, and I thought my business was going to die. I thought it was going to be over. I thought I had a bust count of 1. And guess what happened? Anyone want to guess what happened? People pitched in. People pitched in. And My business like doubled in revenue. And I didn't even know that was possible. Because what did I do from the day one? I thought always, how can I replace myself? How can I work myself out of a job? I'm a dreamer. I'm an entrepreneur. I will always have a job. I will always create work for myself. But I'm not going to be the receptionist anytime soon. You know? And I'm not going to be the web developer anytime soon. But I have systems so that I can put somebody else in place, and really my business could run without me. And that was so empowering because I like to be in control. Who doesn't like to be in control in their business, right? So you got to walk the path yourself. You've already done it. You've already walked the path yourself. So now you got to teach it and tell somebody else to write it down. So if you don't have answers to these questions, do a captain's log. A captain's log is, what do you do every day? Just write it down. You just write it down. And then you start to see what you need to systemize because you've got cash flow issues. Certain things repeat themselves. So in your systems, they got to be clear, they got to be teachable, and they got to be reproducible. So who you are, what you do, what to learn. You speak it, you see it, you do it, and then you teach it. And you teach it back to me. So just like that practice I was doing with Mike here. Okay, so how do we learn to adjust the systems? Because what worked yesterday may not work because now you have a new branch of your business, right? So there's one of my mentors, his name's Toby Hansen. He's an awesome body worker, and he's written a book called The 4 Seasons. And it's awesome because it talks about the 4 seasons and how they relate to your body, but also how they relate to your life. So we have spring. We'll start with spring. So we're sowing the seeds, right? We're creating the process. We're teaching. And then we have summer. And summer is about the crop coming up, right? And then we got to weed and water. We got to weed what's not working, and we got to water what is. And then we have the harvest. We have fall. And fall is about collecting everything, right? And reaping the harvest, getting that revenue and getting those clients in. And then winter, it's about remembering and remembering what we've learned. So in every day, in every moment, in every transaction, you have these 4 seasons, and in every system. So what really makes a good system is the culture, okay? You can have great T-shaped people. You can have great systems. But what Scott Krenz said yesterday, I don't know, were you guys there? Did you guys hear what he said? What he was talking about was relationships. And he was talking about Juniper, and he was like, I don't know, there's 5 other businesses, so why is this one doing so well? It's the relationships. But it's also the culture, all right? It's really about the culture. So who comes first? Is it the customer? Is it the client? Never. It's never. That's what I thought. Oh, my staff doesn't matter. It's the people coming in. It's the customer. No, my customers are my clients. I'm not the only one that thinks so. Right? He runs a big company. If you treat your employees and your staff amazing, and it doesn't have to be a 401k plan. It just has to be, you know what, Mike? You did a great job today. You did amazing. The way that you talked to that client on the phone, that was awesome. Thank you so much. I'd like you to go teach it to X, Y, and Z, right? Words of encouragement. So everyone has different languages of love, right? Gifts, affirmation, words of encouragement, touch. Try not to stick, be careful with that one at work. Hey, no. Maybe if you work with your spouse. But anyway, the point is, clients don't come first, the employees do. They will pay it forward. I had a reception team of 1, I have a reception team of 5. They are a freaking family. They love each other and they love the business. What more could you ask for, right?
Can you go back to the culture slide?
Oh, uh-huh. So how do we build a good culture? What do we do? Anyone have any ideas of what they do to build a culture in their business? Anyone? Uh-huh.
I like to ask them what their personal values are and their personal needs are and help them support that alongside what they're actually trying to
That's great. That's awesome. Did everyone hear what she said? So this is, again, fixed mindset, but we're going to go back to it because everyone's got it on their shoulder at some point or another. Well, shoot, everyone's having fun at work. They are not working. There's a smile on your face. Why aren't you at your computer? Right? Negative Nancy struck again. We say Debbie Downer, Negative Nancy, or Grumpy Pants Lance. Get those grumpy pants off. You're wearing your grumpy pants today, aren't you? It's fun, but also, how do I know that my business won't fail if everyone's having a good time? Because I'm in it. I'm in the thick of it. I've got a bad client on the phone, and I'm in the midst of a deadline, and you guys are enjoying yourselves? What is going on? Right? I mean, come on, fess up. Who's thought this? Yeah, trust me, I have too. So, how do you track it? You don't just go based on the smile on people's faces, though. That's nice, and I'm glad everyone's having fun. I need something. I need key performance indicators, KPIs. Who knows what a KPI is? Great. So what's your KPI?
For me, bring in $20,000 of revenue every month.
Okay, that's great. Anyone else? Different KPI?
Customer satisfaction.
Great.
And employee satisfaction.
And employee satisfaction. Awesome. That's right. So having a dashboard. So when the light goes on in your car, you pay attention, right? So what are your lights? What's your dashboard? So for me, it's revenue. Most people, that would be a good one. In a service industry, maybe it's number of clients or number of complaints or not number of complaints, right? Conversion rate, number of visits, price per visit.
Mine's average proposal cost.
Say that again?
Average proposal, not cost, average proposal, yeah, sale.
Average proposal sale, right? And then Marcus talked today. He was in the Facebook group, and he talked today about client acquisition cost, right? Mm-hmm. So this is what you need to be looking at. You don't need to be paying attention to who's smiling, except for that they are smiling, which is good. But you need to be looking at your dashboard because we want to know how the business is doing, right? If everyone's frowning and this looks good, it could be looking better. Because if everyone's smiling, this is going to be freaking off the charts, or it should be, right? And if it's not, there's a light. You're going to pay attention. You're going to go in and you're going to do some forensics, and you're going to figure out what's going on. All right, let's all pull out the piece of paper with the arrow on it. So one thing I haven't said yet is I stopped stressing about the receptionist, right? Because it was a fixed mindset problem, and I'm into growth mindset. But also, what's the most important is that my staff's success is my success. I've bought in. I've done what she did. I have my mission statement on the wall in my business, and everybody at the drop of a hat needs to know what it is. My mission statement is, now I'm going to totally blank on the mission statement, of course. No. My mission is to help as many people as possible achieve their optimal health through our community of wellness, right? I am freaking passionate about helping others and helping others in ways other people can't. I can help you get pain-free. I can help you live the life you've imagined in your mind, body, and spirit. Wow. Okay? And guess what? My staff embodies that too because their success is my success and I know what their goals are. And if they're not smiling, I wonder why they're not smiling. I had a staff member recently, she decided to tell me that she was sexually abused by her dad. Totally not appropriate for the workplace. Completely not appropriate. But she doesn't have a mom. Her mom was schizophrenic and an alcoholic, and I don't even know, I think she's passed away since. And she didn't have a mom since she was like 4 or 8 or something. So she decided to tell me. So I could just be like, well, dude, that's like totally off the books. We can't talk about that, not appropriate. Right? But there's something that's so valuable that we've learned this weekend, hopefully, with that crucible story, is vulnerability. And she's being vulnerable with me. And so I'm going to be vulnerable back to her. And I can see where her needs are, and I can support her. It doesn't mean that I'm going to give her the day off, or maybe it does, because guess what? The team is going to be affected by her also, right? But we want to support her in her personal success, and guess what? She freaking will do anything for my business because I'm like, take the day off. You can't work today. Hey, here's a counselor. Go see the psychiatrist. He's awesome. Because guess what? I had a similar experience, and I'm going to help you through this. Those interpersonal relationships are freaking cement to your business, right? And then what's going to happen is that everyone becomes really invested in your business, and they're going to be like, oh, you have problems with deadlines? Guess what? I have a solution for you. Cash flow? I got an idea. And then they're going to start to embrace the challenge and give you solutions in ways that you didn't even know were possible. Because what's better than one mind? 2, 3, 4, or 5, right? And they all really want to help. So what's your current reality? You've got a really big client issue. You have a hard time meeting deadlines. You need some serious cash. Write it down. I do this every month for myself personally and every month for my business. I also make my staff do it. All my managers and directors have all of my staff do it. I got over 70 people. Every single one of them does this at least once a quarter. Okay? So what is your current reality? Where are you at? This can be overwhelming. So we got to break it down. What's the current reality of where you are? So my current reality, I'm going through an audit. Totally sucks.
Oh, like an IRS audit?
No, worse. No, it's actually not worse. It's not worse. It's worse? I don't know. I don't know if it's worse. It's an insurance audit. I take insurance. We're getting audited. Over 78 people. I have to come up with notes for the last year. It's a total bitch. So that's my current reality. My life sucks. I'm in my life sucks. Okay? If I'm in my life sucks, I'm like this. I don't want to get up in the morning. It sucks. My fucking life sucks. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. I have no tools. I've got a deadline of 3 weeks to come up with 10,000 notes. What the hell am I going to do? Yeah, that was last week. That was last week. But I'm in this funk state. Guess what? I'm a leader. How is this a good attitude to have? Hey, what's going on? Why aren't you doing your job? Right? Because if I'm like this, that's the attitude I'm going to be having with my family, my staff. So, does it mean that you've got a super deadline and you have to be, you're in this stressful state and you're like, WTF? And I want everyone to feel as shitty as I do? Guess what? Remember, I asked for this job. I put myself in this position. God, what's going on? You asked for it. It doesn't mean you get to wallow in your self-pity because it sucks. No. You get to take responsibility. You get to own it. So, 5 more minutes in my car because I didn't want to have a negative attitude to my team that I depended on to work overtime to get to my goals, right? That is the most toxic thing, is to be negative. So for me, my current reality was shit. Horrible audit. Okay. I allow permission for everyone to scream and everyone to be upset for a few minutes. You can have that. You own it. You deserve it. You get it. You're the boss. If you want a tantrum, you get it, but not in front of other people. Go to your car. Go to the bathroom. Go scream outside in the woods, but not in front of other people because you're a leader. I was reading this book called The Charisma Myth. That's another really good one. And in that book, it says, leaders can rise in times of struggle. No shit, right? Duh. But that's when everyone needs it the most. That's when you have a crazy client, you're up against a deadline, you have no money to do payroll. You got to show up. You got to show up for those other people that are counting on you if you can't show up for yourself. So 5 minutes, I'm in the car having a tantrum that my life is going to be over because I have 10,000 notes I need to do. And then I show up. I get out of my car and I say, you know what? There's people in there that are depending on me, and there's people in there that are going to go to bat for me. And guess what? I'm here. Why? Because I have 4 people at my office, 6 people at my office going to bat for me. And what am I doing? I'm taking this problem and I'm unpacking it. So now you've got this arrow up. Okay? How am I going to unpack this problem of the audit? What's your problem? You've got cash flow problems. How are you going to unpack that? What things do you need to do to make it happen? Maybe you don't know. So one of your action items, if you don't know how to come to your solution, is to ask for help. There's this thing, it's called an ego. It goes like this, okay? Super important. The one thing about being a leader that is so key is evolution of self, all right? It doesn't mean you're self-deprecating, but it means you take your ego, you put it over there, and you say, Mike, I need help. I got this audit, I don't know how to do it. So what do? I got a lawyer. Didn't fix everything, but I got a lawyer, and I got 6 people, and I created a system. I started to unpack it and break it down. And now, on my whiteboard in my office, I got 20 things that we're doing, and we're breaking it down. And my job is a cheerleader. That's my job. How's it going? How are those notes going? Where are you at with that? How's it going? What's that problem? Oh, let me help you solve it, right? So if you're sitting there just stuck behind a desk, behind a computer, you're not able to get your whole team around you to help you to get to that solution. So if I'm sitting there going, oh man, I have to read all these 10,000 notes myself, am I ever going to do it in 3 weeks? Hell no. But I take a deep breath, I put my ego over here, I go, God, what am I learning from this? Because you asked for it. As a leader, we asked to be in the spotlight. And what does the spotlight mean? Integrity. Maybe I didn't know I was out of integrity, but I was, maybe. I mean, they're asking for all these notes. So I got to show up. And I'm going to show them what I did. And we're going to fix it. And it's going to be okay. But what we need to do is make our list. Unpack the problem, make the list. And then, what's the very top say? Very top. Anyone? Goal, vision. Thoughts in mind produce after their kind. This is a mantra. Thoughts in mind produce after their kind. Kind of like energy grows where attention goes. So if I'm thinking, well, I'm up shit creek without a paddle, that's where I'm going to be, right? So you got to have a vision. You got to have a goal. And then you create the process to get you to the goal. Once a month. Do this with your staff, because then they're going to be like, wow, this person sees something in me that maybe I don't see in myself, right? Okay, that second form, that's for you. That's your little journal so that you can unpack your business and see where you want to be in 1, 3, 5 years and what your challenges are. So you can do it, you can turn it in, you can always send it to me and I'd be happy to consult with you on that. But the goal is really for yourself too, so that you can really have an objective perspective on your business. So you can see where you really, you know, some people had really good points of what they needed help with, and others you may still be, maybe you don't even know where you're at yet, right? So these are really good questions to, you know, provoke thought. So, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Any questions? We got a few minutes. Uh-huh.
On the structural tension chart, when you say that you do what you choose every month, how do you actually implement it?
That's a great question. Who wants to role play? Real quick.
Say that again.
He said, how do you implement the structural tension?
I wanted to have some fun. Let's do this.
All right, let's do it. Okay. What's your name?
Dalton.
Dalton. Hi, I'm Jaimi. So Dalton here, he's my trainer. What do you do? What's your business?
Education technology.
Education technology. So can you give me a little bit more? Like what?
We help bring personalized learning into the classroom.
Cool. So what kind of people work for you? Like web developers and stuff?
It's just solution architects, things like that.
Okay. All right. So let's get the structural tension form. So here's his form. So I'm going to say, hey, it's time for your structural tension.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So we're excited. Or maybe he's like, oh shit, I didn't do good on the last one, right? So where are you currently at with that project we were talking about, the generating solution systems architects to go to educate others?
Yeah, no, we're fucked. Yeah, that's where we're at right now.
All right, so we gotta unpack that. So we're gonna go over, you could write that down, we're fucked on the bottom, right? But you could also say like, oh, I'm having a really hard time getting clients or whatever it is. So we're gonna write it down. So first we gotta lay it out. It may sound silly, but like putting it on paper makes it a little bit less scary. Fixed mindset people, they wanna avoid, right? They really wanna avoid the problem. So we gotta teach this person how to be in the growth mindset. So okay, so you're having a hard time because your team's not really working together and you're not really able to access those clients. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So what have you done? So I'm going to ask what he's done to get those clients, and how have you worked to, what are the challenges that you're having on your team?
Literally haven't started. Okay.
So the problem's so big he doesn't know where to start. So what we have to do is we have to break it down for him and be like, okay, well, let's come up with a timeline. Right? I'm role playing, but let's come up with a timeline. And so this is what I need by this date, and this date. And the first thing to do is create an outline. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do it together. And maybe it's going to be, this is a 30-minute meeting. So it's going to happen at another meeting. But this person needs some help. And I'm seeing it because I'm checking in with them. But you know what? One thing I forgot to do before I even check in with how his team's doing, I got to check in with how he's doing. Okay? Remember, his success is my success. And if he's feeling like shit and afraid to come to this meeting and he's totally fucked, then we're having a problem. We're having a problem with his morale and his attitude, right? If his attitude sucks, he's not going to be creative for me, right? It's like my employee who's having, you know, all these memories come up of her past. She's non-functional. That doesn't help me. So I got to get her functional, right? Same with this guy. So we got to get him to the I believe I can do it, not the I suck phase. So right now he's in the energy level of I suck. We got to get him up. So how are we going to do that? We're going to motivate him, and we're going to say, dude, I see that you can do it. I see the energy within you, and I know that you can be a great leader for your team. I've seen you do it in X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to tell him that he's done it before because I've seen it. I'm going to inspire him, and then I'm going to give him a tool like, hey, we're going to do the outline together next Monday. And then we're going to have these other dates on here. And then the goal by the next time I see you in the next quarter and we sit down, you're going to have the project done. Is that helpful? All right.
Swell, Jaimi.
All right.
I'll get right on it.
Any other questions? Yeah.
So I am my brand. I am kind of I'm pretty much a business of one. I'm an assistant and like a marketing.
Great.
Freelance people that help me.
Uh-huh.
But I'm going to be the brand. I want to be the main deliverer of services.
Great.
How do I think through about how to add capacity beyond
you?
my bookkeeping? Yeah, because I got my bookkeeping covered by a firm. I have a marketing agency that helps me, and then I have a copywriter, and I have an assistant that helps me with scheduling and some other things.
So you can scale by doing something online and doing a class online. You can digitize what you do.
Yeah.
If you are your brand, so I am my brand too, right? I started as a personal trainer, and I was like, well, I'm the best personal trainer, right? So I don't want anyone else to do what I do, but the thing is that I'm only able to help, what, 40 people a week? And even that's exhausting, right? How many people can you help? What's your max capacity, $20,000? Or no, that's what your goal is.
I average 10 to 15 clients at a time.
Okay, so that's all you can do. Well, that sucks, because guess what? There's, what, 7 billion people in the world, and you're amazing, and you need to help more people. So you can't do it by yourself.
Right.
So what you do is you take a step back and you go, why am I amazing? What am I doing that's amazing? Oh, wow, look, I help people X, Y, and Z way that no one else does. Yeah. And so you still are your brand, but your idea is over here, and you systemize it, you make it duplicatable. So then you have a mini-me coach. Yeah. And you know what? If that mini-me coach has a growth mindset and maybe wants to do their own thing, there's still ways that you can work together. You don't want to be fear-based about teaching someone your secrets. I used to be like that. Oh, sure. I used to be fear-based about that, and guess what happened? My business didn't grow. But the belief is, again, attention, there's enough for everyone. That's right. Yeah. And energy flows where attention goes, right? So if I'm going to be focusing on someone leaving me, guess what? That's probably going to happen, right? Is that helpful? Uh-huh.
How do you deal with clients who want to see you?
Oh,
You are the brand.
because I'm the best. I'm the brand. Oh, that's easy. You price yourself out. But guess what? You price yourself out. You're like, how much am I worth? Okay, I'm like, okay, I'm $500 an hour. So I'll see you if you want to pay me $500. And guess what? They will pay you $500, and you're like, sweet, I get $500 or whatever it is. So that's one way you do it. And then what I do is I really like to connect with people. That's what I love to do. So I'll do an assessment with somebody, and then they're like, oh, I love you. Will you see me? I'm like, no, I won't. I'm not taking clients. But you know what? I've got a great team of people. And the thing is, back to what you were saying about how to scale, is that if you treat your staff well, they are not going to be looking where the grass is always greener, because they're going to be like, damn, she does so much for me. All I have to do is show up to work, and there's my clients. And client acquisition is so much work, right? So price them out. And but be prepared, because someone will be paying for you. And that's okay, because it's a lot of money, and you're stoked. All right, you guys, give yourselves a hand. Way to go.